Once you meet somebody who's Indian from California, in my case, who's Ohlone, it's hard to say that we're extinct. My language is called Chochenyo, and that's the native language of today what we call the East Bay of San Francisco, and it's been spoken for thousands of years. We haven't had a fluent speaker in our language in about 70 years.
The native term for Mother of the Earth, it's Aman Makwarep. Aman, it's mother, Makwarep is our earth.
That's not to say that we don't have speakers now, because I consider myself amongst the first new generation of fluent speakers in our language, which is exciting. At UC Berkeley, ICLES, the Advocates for Indigenous California Language Survival, hosts the Breath of Life conference. These Breath of Life conferences have been going on for several years now.
What are you saying, Mom? I don't understand. Whatever.
It aims to connect Indian people with resources, archival materials.
You need to at least be able to say something in our language,
so that people can revitalize languages in meaningful ways.
So say this, Haine Shiraus Minok.
What does that mean?
It means, I don't want to talk.
Breath of Life brings together California Native people, many who don't have any native speakers anymore, to do many things with their language, to investigate it, because some of the information is housed here, to learn it, and if they already know it, to practice it and learn more.
You speak another language, right?
Yes.
Maybe something about that. California is remarkable because of the linguistic diversity here.
Oh, thanks for your ID. Oh, are you Indian?
California, before white people came, had just many, many languages, and not only many languages, but many different groups of languages. I mean, it's one of the most linguistically diverse areas in the world.
Historically, there's over 120 different languages spoken in California before contact with Europeans. From all the way up north with the Hupas and the Karuks and the Yuroks, all the way down south to the Kumeyaay, all throughout the state of what we today call California.
California, pre-contamination time, was the most densely populated place outside of the Valley of Mexico. There were, every 20 miles or so, a new language or dialect. There's just a lot going on. We were very, very diverse. There are a lot of languages here that exist no other place.
But what is really awful is that the majority of those languages are now spoken only by a very, very small number of people, if they're spoken at all.
Today there's at least 60 that are spoken fluently, but more and more are coming back to life every year through revitalization.
If you don't have a speaker but you want your language back, how are you going to get it back? The only way to get it back is through the documentation of that language. If people are lucky enough to have had that language documented in the past by anthropologists, missionaries, linguists, there's over 100 years of materials now that are developed on these languages. We have among the best collections of California Indian language materials in the world.
UC Berkeley is where the largest collection, I'd say, of California field notes and artifacts. So it's just a gold mine for us natives. Gold mine. All right, let's go. It's a plethora of wealth, cultural wealth. Let's use that instead of gold mine.
We invite California Indians to come learn how to access their language. They can come anytime to the university, but if you don't know how, you're sort of scared to do it. So this is to help them the first time come, learn what documents exist on their languages in our archives, in our libraries, give them a little bit of linguistic training on how to read the materials and how to figure out grammar from those materials, and then how to use those materials to make language lessons for others, or to just study and learn the language oneself.
I'll look it up and see what it actually is.
And you could all feel how strong that was, the power of what comes out of our mouths. That breath of life that comes out in those. The Breath of Life its full title is Breath of Life, Silent No More. Natives come from so-called extinct tribes, or just tribes with no speakers. You're given a linguist of your very own, not to keep, well, we often do keep them though, and hopefully they are well versed either in your exact language or native languages, or is just really willing to work hard.
So we can fill in these words.
El Franc comes from a language that has no speakers. And there are 40 or 50 languages in California that have no speakers anymore. And she kept saying, well, what are we going to do for these languages? What are we going to do for these people that don't have speakers? And so she and I got our heads together and we decided on this conference of California Indians to talk about what is going on with their languages and what they want to happen for their languages. And everybody said, we want new speakers. We want our languages back. We want the languages back home again. Is Ezelin here?